Well, everybody, I'm back. How can I say? I haven't done any videos for quite a long time, so I'm a bit rusty. And what we're gonna, what I'm gonna say basically, I had done nothing for a year. Um, Simple things is it's time and things like that. But I'm gonna give it another go. And I've a lot of you have asked me, and some of you have watched my YouTube videos and asked, how come you ain't done one for a long time? And I've answered them why and things like that. But most of it's just time, you know. So, but what I'm going to try and do, we're going to try and get back up and running again. Try and help you guys, whether you show or not show. On how we do, how we go through the season, hopefully. Touch wood. So a bit of wood there. Touch wood, and we can show you the results. I've had a very good season this season. Um, Won in quite a few shows, done well at Malvern. And so fingers crossed we can do it again this season for the 2026 season. So this one's going to probably be a long video. It's my first one back. I've changed a few things round since my last videos. Some things we don't grow anymore. We've changed things around, knocked one thing out, made a tunnel out of the other. So if you just bear with me, yeah, I'm a bit jittery, but we're going to show you what's happening in the greenhouse so far. So, as I didn't look after some of my stock, I bought plants in, and I have bought these from Billy Rumley, great lad from up north, great shower himself, and he sent us some plants down, and yeah, well, we're growing them on for the 2026 show season. So I'll explain to you what these are and reason why we've gone for these. So this is the John Golightly Lake from John Golightly, and people have obviously reselected it, and it's named the John Golightly Lake. So we've potted these up over the last few weeks now, and the roots are just starting to come out at the bottom, as you can see there. Well, I hope you can see. And yeah, we've got the eating on. Yes, it's in October. It's the end of October now, near enough. Halloween, obviously, tomorrow. And then we're starting into November. So we have got the heat on, but it's on very low. It's on pilot light because it's on thermostatic control propane heater. And so it's just keeping it steady. I'm aiming for temperatures between 8 and 10 degrees. Um, yeah, so that's what we're doing. So this is a lovely leek at the moment. They're growing pretty well. I had these through the post. So when you have a leek through the post, sometimes it knocks them about a bit. So you just got to wait till they pick themselves back up. It, it takes a while, and once they get growing, you're more right. So these, I'm in Clover Professional now, as you've seen in my last videos. I was using the Vitex. Um, it's as good as Clover, but now I just find Clover just prefer that now. And the company where we have it off is J.K. Loach. I think it's in Cheshire or Chester, one of the two. And they supply us with good quality compost as and when we need it for the site, of course. And we sell it in our shop. So that's the John Golightly Lake. So all we've potted these up in is a clover potting compost, and we just added a bit of perlite. That's all, nothing else. And on this side is the Cumberland Lake. Now this was from Joe Calvert, but I've had these from Billy Rumley yet again. And Joe Calvert bred this lake, and it's been just winning shows up the national. So I've gone for varieties that's got like first and second in the national. And you want to go for varieties really, either what suits you or what's winning. And at the moment, these are the two leagues of what are winning. Also, in a blind slate, this is Peter Holden's new one. It's called the CDJ. Um, he named it after Ronnie Jackson, his late friend, and that's also been winning for the last few years. and these are nice, just nice small plants, and hopefully these have been winning again. So we've had breeds this year. That's what's winning at the national at top level. Also, I like to always go a second variety of Blanche Leek, even though the CDJ's my main one I'm going at this year is the Welsh seedling. Obviously, it's a very old leek that I've Mace bred, uh, but it still wins a lot of shows. And if you can get past the bulbing on the bottom, it's an unfaultable leek. But at the end of the day, we also have got another one, but we won't mention that yet. That's currently been sent down. Um, but soon as I get it, I'll show you and we'll explain where we've had it from and why he sent them, and see how we go. To new leek. No one's grown it or shown it before, apart from the person who breeds it himself. And we'll mention all the name and everything as they come. And yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't want you thinking, oh, these are Chris's leeks. Uh, let's have plants off him and so. When initially there wasn't from me, than from other people, and they deserve the credit who you have them off. Even though you still have to grow them, you still have to grow them yourself. Um, but yeah, we'll mention the names. If I use anything on my own, I will. And we're going to give you a look around now. And as we're here, I might as well show you the compost, what I'm using. So, it's clover potting. Yes, it's all peat based. It's no good using peat free compost. You're just wasting your time and effort. Um, if you want to grow good quality stuff, you must use peat based compost, and the best one you can afford. Um, so you can use clover multi-purpose. That is cheaper in the range, and it is as good as the professional. It's just I prefer the professional because that's the way it is. So we're using that, and to mix in, I'm using John Innish number 2. I don't use any other John Innish, and that's your bulrush, which is heavy. Your bulrush version, and we had this from BHGS in Evesham, and this is a very loamy one, but it is nice. It's loamy clay sort of soil, which Johnny's is anyway, and yeah. So we're gonna have a look around the allotment. We're gonna see the changes as. If you can notice compared to the other video, the greenhouse I'm sitting in is I always grow the leeks in, but it has moved position from the front of my allotment to halfway up. There's been lots of reasons why I've moved it, but yeah, we've moved it. And one of the best reasons is that we get maximum sunlight, and that's always important. But other than that, we'll show you around the allotment now. So it might be a bit jittery, but I'll do my best to keep it still. Right, as you can see, as most importantly before, washing your pots is one of the key things that you should do. Yes, I've had people say before, I've never washed a pot and I've never had a problem. Yes, you can get away with it for a long time, but if you do have a disease, you have got a high risk of giving it your plants once it's potted on because it lingers in that pot, and you don't want it to affect your plants because your season will go downhill before it started. Right. So as you can see, we normally start from the bottom of the allotment and work our way up. But what we'll do is work from the top down. So, here's the compost heap. I prefer to use 3 bays, but it all depends on how big your allotment is at the end of the day. But I have got it in 3 sections. So all my green waste, all my weeds, everything, grass cuttings from home, the kitchen waste, whatever you use, I put on this compost, and we mix it with the horse manure, what we have from the stables, and put it on here, and just keep building it up. And then we're going to our second bay, which I haven't moved into the last bay, which is this is the final product basically. It's ready, and this is what it turns out to be like. Beautiful compost. You could use that as a potting medium if you really want to, or anything. As you can see, that's beautiful. So this is all added to my beds and so and so. But by rights, this should have been tipped into the last bay, which is empty, and I ain't bothered to because I might as well just put it on as I'm taking it, and then when that's ready next door, put that here. So we'll continue on now. So as you can see, this is one of my other tunnels that I think we had it in the video at the time, but obviously I probably didn't show you me using it. So as I do a bit of giant vegetables, but most of my growing is for quality vegetables. I just prefer to do that, and some people just prefer to grow, quality or the giant veg. I do a bit of both, but I don't do everything in the giant veg. So what we normally have in these side beds here, what we've now cleared out, the giant tomatoes go in here. Same for this side, and then in the middle of the trench we have various things. But we'll go through what we're going to do each part of the year, and what we're going to grow where. Because where I growed stuff last year, it's having a bit of a change around. But as you can see, my allotment's like a bombs it is at the moment. But we're getting around to cleaning it up, doing a tunnel at a time, and getting everything prepared for next year. So we'll move you down to the next one. So these are the long bean rail, where I grow the Jessica for the longest bean, for local shows and for Malvern, or whatever show we enter. And we've had some good ones this year. We have kept some of the seed, well, we're keeping some of the seed, but these are yet to go be dug out and put in the compost. Here's one of the big tunnels as we move down the allotment. And we'll go in. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess in here also, but we yet to, tidy it up. So here's some of the long beans I've picked off for some of the seed. As you can see there, got some there drying off. And this is where I used to grow the long carrots. If you looked in my videos, we grow the long carrots, and now we changed this bed. We stopped growing the long carrots now. It's just something really I got time for. It's very hard work, and you've got to be so dedicated towards it. And for various other reasons, and you've seen in my other videos, I just think it just will worth the effort. This is where we've grown the tomatoes, as you can see, but that is changing this year. We're growing them in the big greenhouse. And this side was two stump carrot beds, if you remember, and a little raised bed. Well, this was my heavy onion bed this year. And we've grown some £10.5 bulbs again, but I've also got a PB of £11 2 ounces bulbs. That's the biggest I've ever grew. I've grown 10 and a half quite often, but I've never grown past 10 and a half, and we've had some 11 pound 2 bulbs, so I was very happy. Also with the shallots, I have started to pot them up, and where I've done a video, shallots my way, is for the last few years at Malvern and local shows I've either won or come second, and I've been very happy to get into them places, and I've improved each year on how we're going. As you can see before, I use 5-inch pots, and if you look what I did before, I grew them in 5-inch pots, and I've gone from that method now to these 9 cells. So as you can see, these are 9 cells. 9 cells, slightly deep, but these, as you can, nothing's coming out yet. But these are 9 cells. These are quite nice, big shallots shaped, and that's what they stay in now. And I found that better than potting everything up into 5-inch pots. I don't know the reason why yet. I found it a bit better, but it just worked better for me this year. And what works for you, don't change. If you found a better method, keep to it until you find the next alternative. But at the moment, this is the best method I have found. 9 cell trays. You can get these from Excel Horticulture. They have a wide range there, and also you got 10% off Excel 10 every time you order something from that company. But as you can see, the shots I'm looking nice and beautiful. I look all decent, starting to shoot now. That's why I potted them up beforehand. Um, they're not kept on the wet side, kept on the dry side, but I will give them some water. And as you can see, they were starting to shoot. That's why I've potted them up as early as they am. But we've had good results before by potting them up early October. So when they start to shoot, you can then pot them up. Obviously, the earlier you pot them up, the earlier you get them up, and then the cycle starts all the time. The days that you read in the book where it used to say starting the shortest day and obviously on the longest day, that is no longer possible anymore, unless it depends on where you are in the country. But for where I am in the West Midlands, that's what happens. Last year I potted them up in November. It was quite colder early on. This year's staying a bit mild still. So this is the way we're looking. But as you can see, overall, we're in the tidy up process, but this is the new quality onion bed that we've used for this year, and we've been very pleased with the results. But also, the soil was out the original onion bed. If you remember, I growed in the frame with a net inside with a bit of a polythene cover over the top. Now that has now gone. Now it was getting rotten, and I wanted. Are you always trying to aim for something to make it easy for yourself? And that's what I've tried to do. It's going to be hard to show you this, but this is what we've turned it into. So this is the new Blanche Leek tunnel. I don't know whether you can see this properly, but this is the new Blanche Leek tunnel. So you got about 6 foot of netting, double layer netting, scaffolding netting, and that like Eva mesh, but the cheaper version. And it's done the job. We've had some really good Blanche Leeks this year, and I shall show you inside. But as everything, it's like a bomb's hit it, but it will get tidied and cleaned up. So there you look, 2 Blanche Leek trenches, and it's all looking well. And then we've got the sports system on the roof that we've pulled up by grow light pulleys, and we'll show you how they work for the season. And it's the best method I've found so far. And yeah, we'll show you how that works. But this time we're just showing you around, seeing what things have changed. And so this was built the back end of last year. I might put a couple of posts on Facebook, but other than that, that's what it is. That replaced the old wooden bed, but I had the netting sides down, and it's proved a decent tunnel. So as you can see, we moved the greenhouse from the bottom, and we have now put it in the middle of the allotment on the end, and this gets maximum sunlight coming from this side all the way around all day until it drops just behind those trees, and then when the sun sets, that's it. So it gets pretty much all day now. This is some of the stock they've put back to stock. So we've got Peter Clark's Blanche Leeks, we got some Sammy Cross, we got Cumberland, we got the Bolesworth Leek, we got the Yorkshire Giant, that which again Keith Foster bred. That was a reselection of Pendle that David Metcalf bred, but Peter Clark was one of probably the best growers that was known. But sadly now he passed away a few years ago. But his stock still remains strong in every possible way. So here's a setup for the gas. So there's two 47 kg bottles set up to a changeover valve, and that's what eats us up for the next 6 months. Yes, I know that's a long time to heat a greenhouse up, but that's what you have to do to achieve these things and achieve these results. So, also, if you remember, these are where the celery beds was. So where this greenhouse, there was 3 celery beds here, and then 2 runner bean frames. Well, obviously, I've changed all that around now, and we've put the greenhouse there. We've put on a slab base. And where these 2 bean rail was, we don't grow runner beans now for exhibition purposes. We just grow the long beans, and so I changed these into 2 small shallot beds. So these house, as I posted on Facebook before, 2 rows of shallots, and I don't know how many I put in, about 7 or 8 that goes in. That's 16, and then this is covered in Viromesh, so we basically you just roll this, keep rolling it, and then it goes down to the bottom. It's on a piece of wood, and then I just put a brick up against it, and then it's covered. And that just protects us basically from allium leaf miner, which is a pain all up and down the country. But we also spray on top because just to keep everything clean and fresh and pest disease, whatever, available. Keep it away and keep everything clean. This is a Celery trench. This is an L shape. So if you look at most of my allotment, it's covered in with tunnels, which is, yeah, you do need, but it was extremely hot this year. And with the heat, it's hard to keep the temperatures down, but every year is going to be different. It's always going to be hot. Some years it could be cold, but we just have to wait and see. But yes, this is the new Celery trench that's been here for a while now, but this is what we're using it for. It's an L-shaped bed. You get 2 rows of celery in here, and that's what we're using it for. But we did put the shading on the big tunnel, as you can see. I was just trying to take the heat out of the for the onions, because one of the most delicate things to grow, and when it gets too hot, they just really suffer. But it did help, but it wasn't quite enough. So this year, if we do get that sort of heat again, I'm going to put some blue scaffolding netting on top of that and try and darken the tunnel even more. And we have got shading over the quality onions inside that we can just pull across the top, and that also helped as well. But as we move down, so a few things have changed, but the principle's still the same. So where we used to grow the Blanche leeks is now the new stump carrot house. So we grew some perfect stump carrots this year. We got 2 shows and come second at Malvern, and the varieties was Sweet Candle and a new one. Well, I won't say it's new, but it's new to most people, which is Cascade. And we've still got some in for the stump carrots. I think it was 100 per bed, and I don't even have to pull a full set just to get a good set, and that looks superb. And we can pull one now just to show you what the Cascade was looking like. The only thing for me, they grow a lot too big, whereas Sweet Candle normally takes 22 weeks for it to get a stumped end. Well, I think with all the heat, it just forced everything on them far too quickly, and it made my carrots go like 3 or 4 inches right around to the top, which is really too big. But we did get some good sets, so I can't complain. These are what's left over of the Cascade. Mammoth tops, beautiful and lovely to eat as well. And we'll pull one up just to show you. But these are gone oversized, so I'll try and do this. Hang on, I'll set you up. Be even better, won't it? Set you up. So I'll try and set you up there. Okay. So I'm going to pull one up. Probably not going to be perfect. So when you pull a stump carrier up and you're showing, always push down first and then pull up gently. And most of the time you don't snap the taproot. Not the most perfect carrot, but once you've cleaned it up and as you go through the bed, that is beautiful. Right, and you get a set of three like that, you can't complain. I mean, it's a beautiful carrot, cleans up well. We'll go through the mixes as we're doing them through the year. I've done a new mix for myself, and then we just use one fertiliser now. It's got everything in it, and it's beautiful. I mean, look at the taproot on that. Great cylinder type shape, beautiful stumped end. Bring you a little bit closer. Beautiful stump end, a little bit wonky in shape, just a bit, but it has got oversized now, by the way. And if you can get these a bit smaller, these clean up beautiful. But taproot on that is absolutely perfect. But to eat is beautiful, and you can get the seeds from this newish variety, and I've always found it definitely good germination if you want. Is at Foster Seeds. Foster Seeds, the man behind it is Keith Foster. If you know him or you don't know him, he's bred a lot of things over the time. He's bred the Yorkshire Giant, the Yorkshire Blue, the Yorkshire Green, and he obviously is famously known for the Alsonian, which he bred and crossed himself. And he also bred the Amelia Leek and the Essington Leek, one or two other things. So he's a big breeder. He's bred it over time, but he also is a seed company as well. But Andy has got a new one that we're going to see, and he has plants available for people to buy. But what we're going to do, yeah, Keith Foster, you can get your sweet candle from there. You can get most of your exhibition seeds. He's not got a lot of varieties, but he has got some of the main show varieties that you do need, and some of the giant stuff as well. But the seed germination rate is excellent to none. So I've had most of my stuff from Foster Seeds this year, and one or two others, but he's got some really good cabbage germination, and I can't complain. So that's where you can get the two varieties from. You can get some new ones as well, but it's Sweet Candle and Cascade. If you want to get them from there, and then pop over to Foster Seeds website. The man's from Yorkshire, and he will sort you out with your delivery. It's prompt delivery as well, so you get them if you order pretty much in the same week. And if anything just missing or one dog gets sent, he will sort that out for you also. Yeah, so pop over to Foster's Seeds and have a look at his seeds. And it's well recommended from me. So this is the new carrot house that we used this year, and it hasn't failed. So that's just gonna lock back on that. And as you can see now, we've come to the Pot Lake tunnel. Where we normally go the pot leaks, and we're just getting on with the trenches, which I'll show you in a bit. My big greenhouse is being all cleaned out and sterilised, so we grow the common cucumbers in there. So that's all been cleaned out and sterilised. We're well happy with it now, and it's all ready for growing in. Also, these are my two shallot beds I normally grow with. Remember, it was a big square in my old videos, and you have to do like the limbo, you know what I mean, when you're crossing over the thing with the either mesh. I thought to myself one day, why don't you just make it two beds and make it simple? So I can get 3 rows in this one and 2 rows in this one, and it's the same as the other one I showed you. You just roll that ivermectin, put it down, and it's so simple. We draw the, as you can see on my Facebook, when I put all my shallots in this big greenhouse to dry off, and I think I only had one carrier bag full of doubles, and when we had that hot heat, I think it just shriveled the tops up that quick. It helped to stop them going double even more. So we haven't had so many this year, but that's all sterilised out. And as you can see, there's a missing piece at the front of my allotment, and this was where the greenhouse was, where I grow my leeks in, if you remember rightly. Yet we did move it, and we used this for gladiolis this year, so we're growing glads again. So this is the only open bit of ground on my allotment left. So yeah, and at the moment we've got a bit of the old good stuff in, well rotted or shit, and this is what we're using to put in the trenches, as well as the compost, what's in my compost heap that we showed you earlier on. And then we've got one more little bed here that is, as you've seen before, but it's full of weeds at the moment, and this is where we just grow some exhibition beetroot or anything what's left over in this bed. So as you can see, there's the new Blanche Leek tunnel, and everything's just changed slightly, but it's still the same process as I said before. So this is my new open patch. My greenhouse got moved. It was simple really, but it was hard work to move all the celery beds, dig them all out and so on. But we shared and built a little path here just to raise it up a bit. But we'll show you some of the stock bulbs of the onions. So these was the heavy onions. So these was your 10.5 pound bulbs. Well, I have stripped them back, so obviously they look a little bit smaller. So your 10.5 pound bulbs and your 11 plus bulbs. So, and then you have got your quality onions, which is the Peter Clark strain. They are stock bulbs. There's about a dozen or so there, and I'm looking good. And these will put down for next year's stock. So, yeah, and we'll show you what we're going to do next. And so at the moment we are currently doing the preparation for the pot leek bed. Now this time we're only having pot leeks in this one side here, and on this side we'll have the heavy aubergines and peppers for Malvern Heavyweight Championships 2026. So as you can see, I've dug it out pretty much. So you can see it was here up the top, and we've dug it out and put it in the middle of the path. Now normally, like I've showed you before, is I normally dig a section out and then you put it in a barrow, and then you add compost or manure and work everything forward, trenching it forward. But this year, I did that last year, we did about. We won our pot leek show, but this year I just wanted to dig them all out and just make a sandwich effect. But you'll see that as we're going on. I've done this trench on the right hand side, and now we're doing the left hand side trench. We're going to do it basically, even though we are going to grow pot leeks in this side. But everything is basically the same. And I'm going to show you what I did on the pot leek trench on this side. And you can do your trenches as many ways as you possibly want. There's loads of ways. There's no right or wrong way. So I'm going to do like a sort of a cake sort of effect, where you'll put one layer of one thing, one layer of another, one layer of this, and until you come to the top. And it's like your cake. So you'll have your sponge, your jam, your cream, your sponge, your jam, and your cream. It's just like that. That's what I'm doing for the pot leeks. And yeah, so at the moment we've dug it out. This is the bottom, and I'll show you what I'm doing as we're going as the best I can, because it's a bit hard. But this is the beauty of having a slab main floor with a concrete. So if you want to dig it out, you can put it on your path and just walk on it, then just shovel it back in as and when you want to. But if you got gravel, you could really do, because obviously the soil will grow for the ground, and then you'll end up riddling your gravel. If you got Mypex down, you can do it that way. But if you got a slab path, this is what you can do, and it's better than just taking it outside and bringing it back in. So yeah, I'm gonna put you so you can see me. Right. So yeah, as you can see, I'm in my trench now, and we're gonna get on with it. And I'll just give you a quick look round. It's probably a bit me talking all the while, and you could see a lot of me and myself, but you don't want to see me anyway. So the best thing is I'm showing you what I'm doing now. A lot of you asked for me to carry on doing the videos because you was enjoying them. So I thought, well, I got one done the other day when I had the opportunity to. I thought, as a lot of you have asked me, is to do it again because you're picking tips up and so and so. I'm on 511 subscribers, and I ain't gonna preach like other people do on YouTube, where they say, "Oh, like, subscribe, and whatever." At the end of the day, if you want to subscribe, you subscribe. If you don't want to, you don't want to. This is free. I ain't charging nobody like other people. There's no paid things. Um, you just take me as I am and as it is, and as I will go through the season as best as I can, and try and take you through a full season, which I haven't done yet. But I'll try the best I can. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say like, subscribe, or whatever. That's your choice. Whether you want to like and subscribe or you don't want to at all. At the end of the day, I'll make them whether you like them or you stop watching. So I'm doing it again because a lot of people here have asked, and I do enjoy it, but it was just down to time and things have changed. That's all. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start my work on the Leek trench, and then I'll video as I go along, and hopefully you'll see. So we'll see you in a bit, and we hope you like the video coming back, and we'll see what we're going to do. Okay, thank you. Right, so we're back. So what we're going to do is carry on doing these Leek trenches, and like I explained in the last part, uh, this is what we're going to do. So obviously I've dug the bottom out now, and what we're going to do, yeah, we have to see with this properly, but I'm going to do it the best I can. It's some well rotten horse manure. It's got plenty of worms in. We're going to incorporate this into the bottom. So what we're going to do, fill a 20-litre pot up, and add this 20 litres, well, say 40 litres to every section, and then we're going to dig it in. Dig it into the bottom. It'll create a mound, and then we'll start doing the cake effect or the sandwich effect or whatever you want to call it. We're going to start adding our layers. So as you can see, there's 20 litres dumped in. So it's full of worms, as you can see there. But let's grab some. It's full of worms, red worms, and you could have nothing better than doing that. So hang on, back on it. Sorry about that. Right, so we've added our first 20 litres. So this is going to be 40. So then what we do then, spread it about. You only want a thin layer. You don't ever want to put manure thick because it just don't do anything. And you always want well rotten from manure. And the reason being you want well rotten manure is that if you use fresh, that when you dig it in, it takes the nitrogen out of your ground. So when you any sort of fresh manure and you incorporate it into your soil, you think, oh, it'll rot in the ground. Yeah, it will, but it takes all the nitrogen out of your ground to make it. Nitrogen will rot it, and then when you come to grow your plants, and you think, oh, because I put some manure in, they can be a bit pale, and then you'll end up supplementing them, and you don't want to do that really, and because you'll lose the nitrogen, because all the nitrogen then will come out the ground to rotten that, to make the rotten process to go down, and you won't gain any benefits. And the way you work it out, manure does actually make your plants bigger or better or whatever. Manure is basically, there's very little nutrients in manure. There's some good, very good bacteria in it, but and that's what you want, and that's why you're incorporating. But the biggest part is it conditions your soil. So if you've got hard, rocky soil or clayey soil or any type of soil, it will condition that for the greater good, of course, and then all of it will help. It's all the microorganism what's in it and in your soil for them to thrive off. But also the main thing you say is conditioning. It won't make your plants grow bigger, so you ain't got to add tons and tons of it. So you just put it in layers. So what I'll do now is just show you this section. I'll just go and fetch my spade, and I'll show you what I'm incorporating into the bottom, and then we'll show you when it comes to the next layering. So you get your spade, and basically we dig one spade over. That's it. So you dig it into the base layer. Also, this will help to retain moisture, which in the hotter months that you want, because you don't want it always constantly watering. So you turn it over, just one spade. Don't break it up, just leave it as like little mole mounds. Just like that. So you incorporate it into the bottom bed, and you always leave a section there, and that allows you then to carry on and work your way down. So what I'll do, I'll switch it off now. I'll continue to do this for the rest of the part, and then we'll show you the next bit. Okay, see you in a bit. So as you can see now, we've put the muck in as I showed you, and we've just done one spit of a spade deep, turned it over, and it's looking good in the bottom of the trench already. So the next objective is to put a layer of soil on. So it's going to be quite impossible for me to show you and do it at the same time, but we'll have a go. So I'll do a few and you should get the idea. So basically, get some of the soil dug out your trench and layer it up to the next lip there. See that where the tin is? That's where you want your next layer of soil, because you've always got more soil than manure or compost or anything, because that's where your roots are going to be. So I'll fill this up all the way along the next of the trench, and then we'll show you the next part when we add the compost and then the soil, then a bit more manure, and until we get to the final level. But as you can see, I'm standing on top of a big mat in the middle. So that's what we're doing now, putting the next layer of soil in what we had dug at the trench in the first place, and then we'll incorporate things as we go. See you in a bit. Right, we've done the next layer now. All that's compost. So we put the layer of soil on, like I said, and now we put the compost out me compost it that showed you the good stuff. Right, it's a good layer of that. So you can see the sandwich effect or the cake effect is what I'm trying to create. And now what we're going to do is another good layer of soil to about there, another layer of the horse manure, and finish off with the topsoil. And then what we want to do, once it's all finished and like this, so is let it settle down, because it will drop. And then what we'll do, we'll bring some compost in, the organic recycled material, and we'll mix that into just the top layer, and then you've had everything. You've had your own topsoil, your own well rotted manure, your own compost, your own soil again, and then some, organic recycled compost to finish it off as a top dressing on top. And then we'll show you what we go from there. So I'm going to crack on with doing the layer of soil now. So as you can see, we've incorporated another layer. Right, this is the last layer of well rotted manure. As you can see, it's only a thin layer. So if we just show you, there's the soil I've put on. So it's only a thin layer. Now we're going to put the last bit on top, which is the rest of this, well, some of this mound, and the excess soil will be spread around the plot. I'll show you the finishing touch, and then we'll call it the end of this video. See you in a bit. Well, now we've added the final layers. So this is the top soil. You can see I've put little mounds on. Yeah, this is going to drop, see, so all these little mounds then, they'll be spreaded out, and it'll be sink like this one's sinking quite rapidly. It will do as soon as we start adding the water, because you want to keep your trenches as moist as you can through the winter. Because obviously I don't take the cover off; it's too much hassle. So if you can take the cover off, you're better off doing that. So that's all the winter weather, snow, whatever, into your beds, and that'll help keep the salts down, fertilizers washing out, all what you can do. But otherwise, if you can't, then try and add much water as you possibly can through the winter to try and keep these beds flushed and moist and active, basically. So here's the final stuff. I've only got to clear this now, and this will be moved around the allotment. So what we'll do, we'll finish it here until the next bit.